Hello everybody, it's day 6 and it's time for another solar update. Today I'm going to talk about my car setup. So basically what I have is these two things. This is a cheap CyberPower, which is like a Canadian Tire thing. It's a car adapter, right? Basically it's 160 watt peak. It's a 100 watt constant, something like that. It's rated 100 watts, right? So that is a pretty decent power. Basically what I'm getting here is I got my smart battery charger. So this is a 110 volt. Well, it's got everything, right? You can plug it anywhere. 1 amp. So we're talking about 100 volts, 1 amp, again 100 watts, and it outputs 13.8 volts with 5 amps. So this is a 5 amp, basically 12 volt battery charger, right? So this charger was a cheap one, right? I went for a cheapest one first just to see how it compares to a more expensive one. I'm gonna get a more expensive one later, and I'm gonna do a comparison of these two. So what I have in my setup here is this lead comes off of the battery charger. This plugs into the battery like this, and that's the extra cable that I was showing in my previous video. So this bypasses the solar controller. So when I'm charging with this one, I will definitely be unplugging the solar controller off of it. Well, not unplugging it, but not charging also through the solar, because then this guy would get all confused about voltage, because this needs to read the voltage, and then it's got 4 programs or 7 different stages, possible stages, from the acceptance to the bulk charging to the float charging and everything. I'll go into more detail in another video on this guy. So I basically plug this guy into my adapter, 110 volt adapter, 120 volt adapter, and I plug this into the back of the car. This gives me the ability to just charge the battery itself when we're driving without the need of having to modify the battery or modify the car, the charging ports or whatever in the car itself, right? So that also gives me the ability to take this battery charger and just charge at home, charge up the battery completely. I found that when I was doing the PWM controller, so this one would charge the battery maybe up to like 80%. So I'm not gonna go get more than 80%. Maybe like 13.7 volts was the peak voltage for charging, whereas this guy goes up to 14.4 volts. And this actually isn't 100% for an AGM battery. For an AGM battery, this guy would have to actually put out 14.7. 14.6 to 14.8 is what you would want. So I am getting an AGM battery charger to charge this battery, to see the difference in how a cheap charger and one of the more expensive one that's designed for AGM, that's got a button to switch to AGM, how that one will work. And I'm also going to do a full comparison on this PWM controller and the MPPT controller that I used to test out the solar panels, and with which one I figured out that they're not 120 watt solar panels. Anyway, let's see how this setup plugs into the car. So the back of the car is a little bit of a mess right now, as you can imagine. We're traveling, so all of these shoes and stuff. I got a 12 volt socket here. I plug in the adapter here. I plug in the 110 volt, and then I plugged in to my battery. It goes right here, sits right here, so it's low down. It's a very, very heavy battery, and that's basically it. And that actually works. If I power on the car, that smart battery charger comes on and starts powering the battery, starts charging the battery. And I'm guessing it does 5 amps because it's written on the back of it, but I will actually do a comparison in the future with a real, like, more expensive charger, because I really want to see how well this compares to like a charger that costs a little more. All right, that's it at this point. Thank you very much for watching. yeah, I hope you find this interesting, and if you do find this interesting, tell me about it in the comments, and of course always consider subscribing to support my channel. Thank you very much. Bye.